be the only one who thinks that breaking up with your boyfriend is way more easier than breaking up with like regular friendships. Let me explain. So, for instance, like when you're with a guy and then he just keeps treating you like rubbish, you just tell yourself, I know my worth and I'm not going to be here. But then with like regular friends, we tend to let things slide. We see the red flags, yes, but then we let things slide because we do not expect so much from them. In today's video, I will share my life experience with one of my earliest friendships. So if you are new here, you are the real VIP. This is Live with Amara. Please like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Get your tea or popcorn because today I'll be sharing about my life story. So without wasting time, let's get right into today's video. So for the sake of protecting this person's identity, I'm going to call her Nancy. So myself and Nancy, we became friends when I was around 13 or 12 years old, around that time. So we became friends in church. I was very, very involved in Sunday school activity. And at that time, that particular Sunday, I was taking offerings like I would normally do in church. So my sister was like, oh, there is this lady I heard singing. She gave a special number and her voice is very, very nice. Do you want to speak to her? Maybe encourage her to come for choir rehearsals, for Children's Day preparation. We were having like our Children's Day meeting, and like just like every regular Sunday school, the children will come around at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., and then we'll just rehearse to prepare for the big day. So after church service, I met Nancy, and then I was like, hi, Nancy, do you want to come for Sunday school? Rehearsal. We're having XYZ rehearsal at XYZ time. And then she was like, why not? I'm going to come around. She was very calm. She was very lovely. It was good. So when I met her, after I met her, rather, she started coming for the rehearsal. And at that time, I did not have like my own cliques. In my church, then we used to have like children used to have cliques, and I did not fit in with any of the cliques. So because this lady, I invited her, so it felt like she's my person, and then we became close automatically. So whenever she comes around, we'll always be gisting, talking together, doing our stuff together, like just teenage best friends. So over time, me and Nancy grew very close. We were like this. I knew her parents, she knew mine, and we were like this, like this church group that knows how to sing. We were like, I think 12, 13, yeah, and then we knew how to sing a lot. So that was like very amazing to everybody in the church, and that's why we got popular in church. So I think the first issue started when Nancy came to visit me at my auntie's house. Like I said, I used to live with my auntie at that time. So when she came, we started singing. While we were singing, I don't know how we got out of control, but then she was trying to use a high tone, and I was also trying to use a high tone. And then we just kept singing, and it's thinking about it, very, very chaotic. Like, when someone is singing and then the next person is singing, and then I'm singing and she's singing, and then we just kept clashing with each other. When everybody's just trying to say, indirectly trying to say, like, I am better than you, that kind of vibe, that kind of energy.
You get it?
And then when that finished, we didn't say anything to each other. She just left. And then when she left, I met her in church. We started talking again, just like that. I still don't understand how that happened. But then just like that, that was what happened. We started talking again. And then over time, we started having like squabbles. Very little squabbles. Like just like the most pettiest things for the most useless reasons, we will just have issues. And then whenever that happens, I just realized that I was the one who was always going back. For instance, like whenever we have issues, and I meet her in church, she wouldn't speak to me. Like she just act like she doesn't know me. And then I have to now start writing letters of apology. I remember like when I had to write letters to say, please forgive me, can we be friends? And then she will respond back to say, I cannot be your friend. I don't want to be your friend anymore. So for context, at that time when all this was happening, I did not have a close friend, and I was living with my auntie then. I was the only child living with my auntie. So I feel like I was starved of friendship. I don't know if you get what I mean, but then like I did not have so many people there. So I was just receiving all the rubbish that was coming my way from this particular person. I would apologize when I wasn't wrong. And then even when I was wrong, I would still apologize. And then even sometimes she would tell me like, I don't want to be your friend, and I'll have to stay for like some weeks without having her around, and that was like really, really painful to me. Anyways, fast forward to when I was like around 15, 16 ish. I was in secondary school at that time, and there was this guy I really, really liked. And I told her about this. I think this was on Sugo or something like that. I told her about this. The minute me and Nancy started having squabbles again, she went to this guy to text him. I don't know how she got his username or whatever. She started texting him. Also, when I told her I was learning about keyboard, I was learning how to play the keyboard. I don't know how Nancy got the address of this guy, and then she started learning how to play keyboard. Also, there was a period when like I'll tell her about like a group of youths that I was trying to pray with and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, like Nancy is in that group trying to pray with the same group of people. So it just felt like everything I wanted to do or everything I was doing, she wanted to be a part of. And yeah, I was still always apologizing, although not like I was doing when I was 12 or 13 years old. Don't get me wrong. So I think something happened, and then we had a fallout. Although with Nancy, there are times when she would just stay and she wouldn't speak to me. I don't know why, no reason or whatsoever, but she wouldn't speak to me. And I think that was what even happened. And then I gained admission around the time, like when I was 16. So I went to school. When I went to school, I was in uni for like few months, and then I came back. I know that feeling of okay, now I'm in uni, I'm a big girl, I'm whatever, I'm more experienced, more friends and stuff like that. And also, before I went to uni, I went back to my parents' house, and that was when I met my best friend. Now my best friend has always been like my schoolmate, but we're not like close friends. But at that time we became like very, very close friends. So I went back to school, and then when I returned, I saw Nancy in church, and then I acted like I did not know Nancy. Like, when you just want to ignore somebody. In my head, I was just thinking, like, now I'm a big girl, I'm exposed, I have friends, I don't need you, stuff like that. That was what I did. So Nancy saw me in church, and then she just behaved like she did not see me. And then when that happened in my head, I was like, oh, whatever, I don't need you here. And then guess who texted me when I go home? Nancy. This girl asked if I was home, my parents' house, and then she was like, "Oh, are you home? I want to come over." And then I said, "Of course." So, in spirit of being honest, I know what I did wasn't the best. So, when Nancy texted me and asking if I was home and stuff like that, I called my best friend after I had obviously responded to her. I was like, "Oh, hi. Nancy called me. She wants to know if I'm home. Do you want to come to my house so that maybe I can just show that I have a new friend and we can just try to pay her?" So, I'm sorry. So, Nancy came over, and then my best friend was there. And then when my best friend was there, I was just, I'm sorry, but like Nancy was just sitting by the corner, and I was just there speaking to my best friend and just acting like there was nobody there. And I am just so sorry that I ever did this, because like it's not cool. It's not nice at all. It's not. Anyways, eventually I started feeling bad because I know like Nancy has always been my good friend. So I started speaking to her. But then like she could just see that I wasn't the person that I was years back. Like, when someone has just moved on. I moved on, and it was just evident in my face, in my action. You would just know that this lady is not going to come back to beg you. Mm-mm. But then, she has always been my friend, and she was like my childhood friend. So that part of me that liked her was still there. And then over time, I started speaking to her before she left. And then when she got home, I texted her, we started talking again. And then I just felt like, okay, I was speaking to like a friend. And then when that happened, I started telling her about my school experience. And I had a school boyfriend then. So I told her about my school boyfriend. Obviously, she met my best friend at home. So she knew about my best friend now. And then I also told her about my school best friend. I had a school best friend as well. When I told her about everything, I realized that because I was now in school, it was very difficult for us to keep communicating. But then one thing I noticed was that Nancy kept texting my friends. She would text my boyfriend on Facebook. She would text my friend, my school, my uni best friend, and also the other friend I spoke about. She would also text my best friend. I don't know. I don't know what she was thinking or how she thought that these people wouldn't say all these things to me. Like the fact that she would skip me to start texting those people that she knows are related to me was really, really scary. It was very scary. Like the thing is that because in my head I thought that, maybe she's busy, I'm busy, we are not communicating, but then she kept texting these people. It's not like they would text her back or anything, but then like whenever anything like that happened, they'll be like, oh, this girl is texting me. Do you know her? Stuff like that. Or maybe I've been talking to this particular girl. Do you know her? And she will never mention me in their story. Although at that time, my boyfriend did not respond because I've already said, like, oh, there is a Nancy in my life. And then whenever she comes, you just let me know this person has texted me. Same thing with my best friend, no response. But my coconut head other friends, they responded at that time. Anyways, that was what like made me to completely cut myself off, because the fact that she would always keep me to text my friend, I just felt like that was not good. That was shady. That wasn't good at all. So something weird happened when I was in 300 level. So I'm not sure how the communication went with Nancy, but I just realized that I wasn't speaking to her anymore. So in 300 level, there was this particular day where I was reading in class, and then I turned my back and I saw someone that looked exactly like Nancy. Tell me why Nancy was in my school trying to write post UTME, and she did not even bother to inform me about coming to my school. She knew I was schooling there. Like, she knew I was schooling there. She would have just said, okay, you know what, Amara, I need to come XYZ, and I need a place to sleep, or I need XYZ, or in fact, I just want to apply to your school. She never said anything like that to me. And then when I saw her, we had to pretend like we do not know each other. Like, I'm just looking at her like, is this Nancy? Is this not Nancy? This is Nancy. Of course it's Nancy. And then when that happened, she wrote her exam, she left, and we never said anything. I tell you, this is like a very, very weird experience. So over time, I think few years had gone by, and Nancy started texting me. She came to my DM. It was now on WhatsApp here. She came to my DM, and then she was like, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I know I've done you some wrong things. I know this and I know that, and I'm so sorry. And blah, 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 blah. And then I said, okay. To be honest, I really, really liked her. So I said, okay. And then I just told her, like, I understand. I know this type of things can happen. Let's just try to make this work. I still like you. You're my friend, blah, 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 blah. What's been happening? Just fill me in, stuff like that. And then she was like, oh, she just feels sad. And the next day again, she came. She was like, I'm sorry. I know I've wronged you. I know I've done this. I know I've done that. And she's going through a lot, not like a lot financially, but like she's going through a lot mentally. And at that time I had like this very mature friend. I won't be saying his name. And then I just thought to myself, like, I think this person is going to do well with this lady. Maybe I should connect them. Let her try to speak to him. He's going to like help her out. And then when I did that, I was expecting that maybe they would just like talk about what's going on in her life. But then guess what? They started dating. So they started dating. And then I did not like him or anything, but then I just felt like, what's happening here? Like, what's happening? I've known this guy for like how long now? Nothing ever happened. Not like I liked him. In fact, this person was trying to ask me out at that time. But then, like, you're just dating this person I gave you like 2 days ago. You're already posting him and saying, oh my word, and oh my this. That was just like really, really weird. So I just had to, like, you know what? I'm not going to let this disturb me. I'm not going to let this affect me. And then I had to leave the friendship again. And then when I left, I never turned back. I think like few years back, she came back to me, like 2 years ago or a year ago. She came back to me. She was like, hi. And then when she said hi to me, I responded. But like when you respond and then you're not just here in your head, like you're like, can we just stop this? I think now we are adults. We're not like youths. We're like in our 20s. We shouldn't be doing this. This whole thing started in like when we were like 12, 13. We shouldn't be doing this right now. Let's just stop it. And then I stopped responding. And since then until today, I haven't responded. And yeah, I just had to let it go because it wasn't for me. It was taken away from me than it was given to me, or that's just how I felt. So this is just a summary of my friendship with Nancy. So obviously, this is from my perspective. If I were to ask Nancy today, maybe she would give me a different answer. But you watching, do you feel like I did well handling the friendship with her? Or do you feel like I should have done better? If you were watching me as a 13 or a 16-year-old, what advice would you have given to me? Do you feel like it's good that I let go? Do you feel like it was weird? Or was I just in my head and was I just thinking? I don't know. Please, I would like to see your comments in the comment section. I'll be reading and I'll be responding. Don't forget to like, share my page with your friends and family, and I will see you next time. Bye.